we got any teachers in this evening? Give us a shout, any teachers? Oh, loads of teachers in. You work bloody hard, don't you, teachers? Half the year, 5 hours a day. I'm not knocking it. I could never do what you people do for a living. Not because it's difficult, I wouldn't pass a CRB check.
I often get asked this: what celebrity would you most like to sleep with? Angelina Jolie. I'd love to have a go on that. She's an attractive woman, isn't she? I had a dream about her a couple of weeks ago. I'm not saying it was sexy. I had to get the sheets off with a toffee hammer. That's a weird joke, isn't it? Because at once your mind has to go, and, oh, toffee hammers. I realise I haven't got much of a chance with Angelina Jolie. She's with Brad Pitt. I've got a face like a potato. I like, why do women watch porn to the end? To see if they get married. Any other ultimate sexual fantasies? An amputee. It's not Paul McCartney, is it? I can't see.
I've been described as the hardest working man in comedy. Not that impressive, is it? The hardest working man in comedy. That's like being the best looking guy in the Burns unit. No offence to any Burns victims we got in. Are there any in? If there's one, there'll be fucking loads. They tend to stick together. Are you all right in the back? Excellent. It's nice to hear that, because often when I go to comedy shows, and I go to them all the time, I love coming out to see live comedy. The thing is, though, if I'm sat right at the back, I'm a little bit disappointed. I always get my ticket and go, oh, for fuck's sake, I'm fucking miles away. But there are, of course, advantages to being right at the back. You get more of a sense of theatre, of people coming together and sharing a sense of humour. What a wonderful thing that is, the great British music hall spirit. And also, if you're right at the back, this sort of thing won't happen. I fucked your mum. That's not going to happen to any of you. I've got nothing but respect for your mums. They're hard-working, decent women. Your mum still owes me a tenner. I'm joking. I owe her a tenner. Well, I'll tell you why I've asked you all to come this evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to talk to you about men that like obese women. I'm not talking about men that like women with a fuller figure. That seems entirely normal, natural and right. More cushion for the pushing, as I believe people say. I think that's the expression. No, I'm talking about men that like women who can't leave the house fat. So, I'm not talking about anyone in here this evening. Unless, in order to get out, someone had to cut the side of the house off and there was some sort of winch involved. I'm not talking about people with water retention. I'm talking about people with cake retention. People that tell you they've got a thyroid problem. You say, oh, really, a thyroid problem? What are you taking for that? Pies? You know, the kind of girl that looks as if she makes a cracking breakfast, but wouldn't want to share it with you. I saw a thing on TV the other day, actually. It was on one of these kind of makeover shows that were on during the day. They did a makeover on a girl. She was 34 stone. It's like rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic. I say a makeover, they gave her a fringe. Is that really going to turn the corner for a girl like that? That's what I'm asking. I don't think it will. I can't imagine a scenario where a guy, you know, he's drinking in a bar, he looks across, he sees a girl, she's 34 stone. Be tough to miss her, let's face it. He thinks to himself, she's a little bit big for me. Goes back to his drink. Meanwhile, the makeover team are in. Snip, snip, snip. He looks back, he thinks, actually, I would. It's the excuses that get me. The excuses are amazing. The camera adds £10. Stop eating fucking cameras. Some young women drink so much they black out and can't remember what happened the night before. If that's you, don't worry, love. I made a video. Have any of you seen my impressions? Have you seen any of my impressions before? I don't do many. I do a few. I'll do one for you now. Are there any lesbians in? Does anyone enjoy smashing pasties? Huh? Are there any lesbians? There must be some lesbians, surely. What is there, a pool tournament on? Well, where are the lesbians? You up there somewhere? Oh, there's some lesbians up there. Are there lesbians over here? Hello, girls. How are you? You all right? Very nice to have you in. The impression that I do It's more a piece of physical theatre than an impression per se. But it's the... hang on, the cameraman's coming to get the lesbians. It's more a piece of physical theatre than an impression, but it's actually, it's the breakup of a same-sex relationship between two women. And I think it captures the emotional turmoil and the anguish when love breaks down. When you still love that person, but you're no longer in love with that person, and you've got to go your separate ways. Would you like me to perform it for you now? Okay. Just give me a second here. Oh, what did you think was going to happen? I feel duty-bound now. What's your name, madam? What? Chiral. Okay, fine, Chiral. Sure, we'll go with Chiral. And who are you with? Who's the other half? Rosie. Hi. I feel duty-bound to ask you the question I've asked every lesbian I've ever met. What would it take to get you back on solids? Oh, I got a maybe, yes. I'm 2 Bacardi Breezes away. Come on. Has anyone in here been flashed? Yeah. Go on, what happened, madam? Is it a funny story or is it distressing?
I was in a club and some guy flashed me.
In a club? In a club and someone flashed you in the club?
Yeah.
Are you sure you didn't go off with a man in a club? I was kissing him, and I undid his zip, and then he flashed me. Go on, what happened? Tell me the story.
It was in the middle of the dance floor.
Middle of the dance floor, and he was throwing some shapes, and one of his was...
No, my friend told him that we were lesbians to get rid of him.
So to get rid of the guy, your friend told him you were lesbians. That's how these two started, but then... they liked it, so they stuck with it. And did that work?
Oh, she said, we don't like cock. And then
She said, we don't like cock. So sorry, so someone got his cock out in the middle of the dance floor in a club, and you went, oh no, sorry, we're lesbians. You could have just told him to fuck off. You're incredibly polite. I'll make up an excuse so he doesn't feel bad. I don't want the flasher to feel rejected. How nice are you? And has anyone else been flashed? You got arrested for flashing? Well, don't take it out on me. What do you mean you got arrested for flashing?
Well, I was going for a piss.
You were going for a piss? This sounds like bullshit to me. You were going for a piss. Where were you going for a piss? Set the scene for us. I've never met anyone that's flashed. Go on. It's going for a piss in a primary school. Got in a car park, okay. In a car park outside, you're going for a piss. Caught short, late at night, fine, okay.
Yeah, and I needed a piss, so I went up against a tree.
You went up against a tree.
Yeah.
Turned out it wasn't a tree, it was a fat girl. Go on, so you walked up to a tree to take a pee in a car park. This doesn't sound terrible. So far, I'm on this guy's side. Go on.
So there was a woman in the trees.
There was a woman in the trees. Sounds like you've broken dogging etiquette by pissing on someone. So you went up to take a piss on a tree, and there was a woman in the tree.
She was walking, there's a pathway,
She was walking, okay.
and it was outside a police station.
And it was outside a police station. What kind of a fucking idiot are you? You went for a piss in the police station car park. Why don't you just turn yourself in? That's a cry for help if ever I heard one. Lock me up before I hurt someone. And what, did she scream? Did she complain? What happened?
She went into the police station, and they came out and arrested me for indecent exposure.
They came out and arrested you for indecent... Is it because you're a bit ginger? Do you think they would have let you off if you hadn't been quite as... I'm sorry about these lights as well. We could well be giving you skin cancer. I think I'm on your side there. If you're taking a piss, that's not indecent exposure, is it? What do you think? Are we on this guy's side? Yeah. There's one man, no. Stop pissing outside, you crazy fool. 99% of women kiss with their eyes closed, which is why it's so difficult to identify a rapist. When I was at school, a girl called Alice wanked off a dog for 3 cigarettes. I know what you're thinking. How did a dog get cigarettes? I once had sex with an Australian girl. She said mid-coitus, whilst fucking. She said, "Have you slimed yet?" Have you slimed yet? I thought it was all fucking Ghostbusters. I fantasise about having sex with a gymnast. Not just because they're really bendy and flexible and you could do loads of extraordinary positions, but also because I imagine they do a brilliant dismount. They end up by the side of the bed like that. And if they bend their knees even just a little bit, you can make them do it again. I got interviewed last week by a very nice young lady. She said, "What's your house like?" I said, "I've got a semi." Which would have been fine, but then I showed it to her. And of course, by then, it wasn't a semi. If you ask 10 randomly chosen women how often they wash their knickers, a surprising number answer, "How did you get in here?" Treat them mean, keep them keen. That's what they say, isn't it? Treat them mean, keep them keen. But I think you've gone too far if you're using a Stanley knife. Of course, a lot of women stay with their men even if their men hit them. A lot of women will stay with their husbands even if their husbands beat them. I tell you what they need, a slap. Where's your self-esteem? Silly cow. She was tiny. Of course, the thing people never say about domestic violence, and it strikes me as being just so very obvious, but people never say this about domestic violence, is just how fucking stupid it is. I mean, you're hitting your wife. It's your wife. You might as well key your own fucking car. Think about it. You don't like her now, you're not going to like her anymore with 2 black eyes and a bit of a face on, are you? 97% of all dangerous driving offences are committed by men. You know what that means? It means 3% are committed by bloody women drivers. You know who you are, you're a fucking menace. When I did used to work for a living, I was always very jealous of the women that I worked with because women have the best excuse for a day off sick. I love a day off sick. Marvellous. Duvet, very nice and comfy. And women have the best excuse. The best excuse, as we all know, is women's problems. And the reason women's problems is the best excuse is because women's problems is the end of a conversation. Why didn't you come in yesterday? Women's problems. I like to think if I was the boss, things would be slightly different. Women's problems? Tits or fanny? Which is it? Maybe I could have a look. Did you know women reach their sexual peak after 35 years? Men reach theirs after about 4 minutes. Which is why we get more done. My girlfriend said to me, "Have you been having sex behind my back?" I said, "Who the fucking hell do you think it was?" And another thing, it wouldn't kill you to turn around once in a while, check how I'm doing. I bought my girlfriend a book called Cheap and Easy Vegetarian Cooking, which is ideal for her because not only is she a vegetarian, she's reading a book at the moment called Women That Love Too Much, which I think could have the title shortened to Sluts. The reason old men use Viagra is not because they're impotent. It's because old women are so very ugly. Ladies, if you get a burning sensation when you pee, it could be one of 3 things. It could be cystitis, it could be a bushfire, or it could be someone's talking about your vagina. I saw a thing on the news, it said that bad drivers are going to get on-the-spot £100 fines. I thought, it's a bit sexist. Do you understand that? Yes, you did. Yes, you did. I'm not being sexist. How could it be? Some of my best friends are slags. The
average person in Great Britain laughs out loud 10 times a day. Not everyone, obviously. If you work in a hospice or with learning disabled adults, it could be 10 times that. Sky's the limit. I've got a question for you, ladies and gentlemen. Does anyone in this room believe in the supernatural? Ghosts and spirits and the like? Yeah. Quite a lot of you. It's actually easy to tell if your house is haunted. It isn't. Grow up. That's me being cynical, but that's this job. Being a stand-up comedian, I think, makes you a bit of a cynic. Has anyone in here actually seen a ghost? Well, go on, what did you see, madam? Tell us the story. And there was no one there. Go on, what did you see? I'm not... I make you nervous. You've seen the undead. And I make you nervous. Doesn't really show me in a good light, does it? Go on. Where were you when you saw the apparition? You were in a friend's house. Right. Her stepfather was what, sorry? I think I may have cracked this case already. There's a stepfather involved. Was there ectoplasm? Go on, what happened? Were you upstairs? Were you... You were in his son's bedroom? Of course you were, love. Go on. He had died. You should have mentioned that sooner. And then you started seeing weird shit. I'm loving this. There's a special name for people that have seen ghosts. Schizophrenic. All the best with your future. Quite an in-depth story. I'll leave it at that stepfather did something terrible. And you've recoded that memory. Of course, not all fat people are jolly. Some of them are women. My crisps tasted rubbish. Oh, no, you didn't. Oh, no, you didn't. I became Latino there for a second. No, you didn't. Yeah, I did. I had crisps. Did you see I had crisps? Jimmy Carr crisps. The good people at Walker's, for comic relief, they brought out a flavour of my crisps, and it was me and Al Murray and Frank Skinner and Stephen Fry. And then they made these crisps, and every packet they sold, they gave 5 pence to the starving people in Africa. And I said to them, why don't you just send them the fucking crisps? It's got to make more sense, hasn't it? Because they can't be as fussy about the flavours. If you're starving, you're fine, aren't you? Well, these are a bit... Nah, fair enough. You're sniggering. What's your name, blonde lady? Who... Move along? What are you saying, Vicki? Dance for me, monkey boy? Is he your fella? Well, what do you mean? He's either your fella or he isn't. Is he your fella? Yeah. Sorry, she's saying yes, and you're saying no, and you've gone really red and you look really embarrassed. They're fuck buddies. Oh! I see. What? How very modern. How very 2005. So you're not going out with each other, but you are fuck buddies. That is fantastic. Can we just all take a moment to, congratulate that man there? A lot of work has gone into that. A lot of work has gone into that. He's had to buy a Cosmopolitan for a couple of years. Sorry?
My parents are going to watch this.
And they'll know that you're a dirty little hussy. The great thing about that is that he's convinced you that, yeah, we don't need a relationship. It's so old-fashioned. I should be able to sleep with whoever I want to sleep with. And so should you, as long as it's just me. When I say...
There must be something else going on.
Yeah, there'll be a lot of jokes. It's not every day I get to talk to a slag. Come on. Now... I don't know where the mark is until I overstep it. That's my... You just did. That is juvenile. Sorry, for those of you that didn't see that, it'll be on the DVD. Available at all good car boots. Vicky's response to that, yeah, she's been called a slag at a show. That's not good in anyone's book, and I apologise for that unreservedly. But did you really need to do that? God bless you. If you like fast-paced, edgy one-liners, get ready to be happy. I'm announcing a new tour. It's called Jimmy Carr Laughs Funny, and I'll be touring all around the world. Come and see me. If you don't like fast-paced, edgy jokes, then it's not for you. You know, get some perspective. Maybe they're just jokes.